Welcome to the Wolverine Confidential Podcast. I am Andrew Kahn.
And I'm Ryan Zook.
The NBA and NHL drafts are complete and several Wolverines were taken. We discuss the players picked and any surprises. Michigan football recruiting is in full swing. Who are the latest prospects to commit to the Wolverines? That and more coming up on Wolverine Confidential. Hi, Ryan. Good to be with you here. Tuesday, July 1st here in the morning. Two-man pod today with Aaron off, but good to be with you. Happy July to you.
Happy July to you as well. Hoping you have some fun plans for the 4th and enjoy some downtime.
Yeah, gonna get on the water, going to Canada, of course, naturally, and 4th of July, leaving the country. But yeah, we got a lot.
And you missed Canada Day too. I mean, if you're gonna go to Canada, you got to be there on Canada Day. But instead, you're talking to me.
Yeah, right. We need some quiet time. So fine to not have any major festivities. Let's talk some football recruiting right away. We recorded a podcast. It was a week ago. It was last Tuesday. I count 6 editions since. You got a 4-star wide receiver, 3-star offensive lineman, 3-star linebacker, 4-star offensive tackle, 4-star edge, and a 4-star defensive back. That's a lot, and maybe I even missed one. I don't know. You tell me. But that's you said it on the last podcast when we talked about there were 2 or 3 commits to talk about at that time, and you said expect more. And yeah, no, as to paraphrase the kids, no lies were told.
No. I mean, I wrote about this yesterday too, and it is really crazy what a couple months can make. I mean, beginning of May, Michigan only has 5 commits. Programs like Rutgers and Illinois are blowing the Wolverines out of the water on the recruiting trail. And then the Wolverines are hit with those recruiting restrictions and coaches aren't able to go see the prospects on the road. And other schools are out there fortifying those relationships. And the sky was falling, it appeared, according to the fan base. Well, Michigan has been in full send mode ever since. And it's probably the most insane heater I've seen from Michigan on the recruiting trail since I've been covering the team since 2019. And yeah, like you said, it's 6 in the past week, but like 12 in June, 8 since June 22nd, which comes right after Victor's weekend, Michigan's biggest recruiting weekend of the year so far. And I mean, it's just been every day. Sharon Moore is tweeting those eye emojis, which kind of signals that a commit is coming. And it's like every day, sometimes 2 a day. And it's like, wait, all right, so who's supposed to commit today? And it's just been pretty wild. And it's not just guys to fill the class. It's some premium guys too. And I'll start on Sunday with the 4-star edge Carter Meadows, a top 100 recruit, the new headliner of the class out of Gonzaga College in Washington, D.C. I mean, just a athletic frame, athletic player who could also probably play college basketball as well. It's number 72 overall in the 2026 class. Comes from the same school as current Michigan offensive lineman Evan Link and incoming freshman safety Kanoa Winston. So Michigan had a little bit of a pipeline there, and was able to beat out Ohio State and Penn State and South Carolina to land him. So just a huge get there. And then on Monday, trickled over to Andre Clark Jr. Michigan needed some more defensive backs in this class, and they get one in him. He's a 4-star, listed as a safety, but Michigan's recruiting him as a cornerback. Has a lot of versatility, top 200 guy overall, and it seems like Michigan's recruiting Virginia pretty hard this cycle, and obviously the big one they want to get out of Virginia is 5-star running back Savion Hyder. But we'll see there. But yeah, it's just been pretty remarkable and Michigan's beating some top programs too. They were able to close the gap and beat some guy like Malachi Lee is just a mountain of an offensive tackle from Hawaii. Michigan beat Georgia, Texas, and Alabama for him, the 4-star offensive tackle. Titan Davis, Michigan beat Alabama for him. He was just ranked outside the top 100 overall guys. They beat Notre Dame for Mikhail Blade and 4-star defensive lineman Alistair Vallejo. So it's just been Yeah, it's just incredible. And right now, Michigan's sitting eighth in the 24/7 Sports Composite, and it's not just because they're up to 18 commits now. They're quality guys too. They're also ranked eighth by the average rating of each commit. So kudos to Sharon Moore and his staff for really hitting the official visit season hard and gaining ground and playing catch up in a hurry to go from outside the top 40 to inside the top 10 in a couple months is pretty remarkable.
Ryan, is there one or two guys here from this recent spate of commitments that Michigan fans maybe should be, more excited about than others? And then sort of just generally, like, why is this still why is this still important in, the age of the transfer portal where you can go and just get a veteran proven college player, to kind of fill some gaps in your roster?
Yeah, I mean, because you still want to develop guys and have that chemistry with them for multiple years too, and develop them over a multi-year period. And what really intrigues me the most is Lou Esposito just completed his first year at Michigan, and looked at the success of the defensive line. He's had a track record of producing NFL linemen, even when he was at like Western Michigan, lower level schools. Now you're giving him guys like Carter Meadows, a top 100 prospect, Titan Davis, who's basically right there, a fringe top 100 prospect. There, Mikhail Blade is top 200. If you're giving him guys that are already bringing in their with their high ceilings and their talent, imagine what he can do with them over a 2-3 year period, and continue that development of Michigan defensive linemen. That's really intriguing, and it's just been fascinating what he's been able to do on the recruiting trail in such a short amount of time. I mean, we've talked to him at availabilities, and you can definitely see his, how yeah, why recruits can really be attracted to him, and fall in love with what he has to say. And he's just, I mean, I'm always in tune to what he's saying. I'm like, man, you can't doze off when he's talking. And even said like he likes to keep it light in his defensive line room during the season and meetings. Every 15 minutes they're taking breaks, they're cracking jokes, but when it's time to get down to business, it's time to get down to business. And we saw that last year on the field. So that's probably the most intriguing thing to me is how what this is going to look like in a couple of years with Lou Esposito developing some of these high end guys.
All right, yeah, a lot of recent guys committing to the program. Any should we expect? Again, last week you talked about, yeah, more coming. I mean, can you say the same thing again here on July 1st?
Which, yeah, the crazy thing is, yes, and my July 4th holiday is probably going to be waiting on commit watch too, because there are some key targets set to announce. Uh, 4-star line. I mean, and they're not missions not guaranteed to land all these guys, but they're in the running for some of them. Bishop Montgomery, 4-star linebacker Kenneth Goodwin announcing today. Not guaranteed there. Mission did seem to be in a good spot with Donovan Webb, a 4-star defensive back, but now maybe things are trending a little bit towards Texas Tech. Uh, 4-star receiver Travis Johnson out of Virginia. He's set to announce Friday. Michigan seems to be in a pretty good spot there. And then the big one, couple big ones on Saturday. Miami Northwestern 4-star receiver Calvin Russell, a top 50 recruit, a guy that Michigan would love to add to this class. I mean, Michigan hasn't landed a receiver of his caliber and ranking since Donovan Peoples-Jones. Would be just a very intriguing weapon for Bryce Underwood moving forward. And I think Michigan sits in a pretty good spot there. And then Carrollton, Georgia, 4-star defensive back Dorian Barney on Saturday as well. Michigan seems to be sitting pretty good there too. So we'll see what happens. Recruiting can still be fickle, and guys can make last minute pushes. But I mean, judging by how many eyeball emojis Sharon has put out recently, there's got to be some more in the pipeline coming, and I would expect Michigan to get at least a couple of those guys.
Very good. Let's transition here to some of the professional drafts that happened recently that we previewed on the last episode. The NBA draft. Danny Wolf from Michigan was taken number 27 late in the first round by the Brooklyn Nets. it kind of the TV production made it seem like it was a long wait for him. It was there was another guy, uh, part of that green room, that was taken after him. But remember, there were 24 players invited there too. So like the fact that he went 27 wasn't that crazy. But it was, it was 3 hours from when the first pick was announced to when Wolf was taken. And I know from covering these drafts, and a couple times I followed Michigan players really for their whole day with Trey Burke and Nick Stauskas. Like they have morning meetings, about the draft, how things are going to go. I know I can remember Trey, took a bus, got on a bus from Manhattan to the arena, 3 hours before the draft began. So like there's they take photos and stuff. Like there's plenty of stuff that goes on before even ABC, ESPN begin their coverage when that first pick starts. So it is a long day and a lot of waiting. So I certainly get it. But he goes to the Nets. Juwan Howard is an assistant there. I'll remind people. He never coached. Wolf at Michigan, but I did see them interacting a little bit at the combine, and Wolf was considering walking on at Michigan when Juwan was the coach. But yeah, Jordy Fernandez, first year as the Nets coach last season. Uh, as Danny pointed out in his, post pick press conference, like he coached Nikola Jokic in Denver when he was an assistant. He coached Sabonis in Sacramento, like two of the best bigs, in the game. So, Danny was excited about that. And I'm sure he's excited about the 5.7 million roughly he'll get over these next 2 years. Slotted as that number 27 pick.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of national experts like the fit there too as well, and gave the Nets a pretty good grade for getting Wolf at that pick.
Yeah, I mean they had 5 first round picks, which was wild. And I think people were maybe a little surprised that they used them all. Somewhat of a theme maybe with kind of they went with some international players, and then Danny, who kind of fits that mold a little bit of an international player with the size and the skill, the passing and shooting and all that. So yeah, I think he was the oldest of the bunch, so maybe the other guys a little more projects, but yeah, I saw good grades for them as well, as I noted in one of the stories. Again, that it's fine to do, but do we really? We don't really know the accurate grades for these things for a few years down the line. But yeah, early reviews are good for Wolf to the Nets. Vlad Golden, his front court teammate, did not get drafted. Somewhat of a surprise. I mean, I predicted on this podcast last week that he would be, late in the second round. It didn't happen, but that's sometimes not the worst thing. He ends up going to the Miami Heat on a two-way deal. Again, those two-way contracts, allow NBA teams to they got 15 roster spots. They can add up to 3 players on those two-way contracts. So that means that they can be active for up to 50 games on the NBA roster. The rest of their time is in the G League, which is that NBA team's kind of minor league affiliate. So yeah, not as much money, but still a chance. And I'll point out that as maybe a lot of you read, Hunter Dickinson, two-way deal with the New Orleans Pelicans. I don't know. Maybe some of you had forgotten about Hunter. I mean, I do think about how he was, when he decided to come back after his, standout freshman season at Michigan. He was kind of like one more year or whatever, but it turned out to be, 5 years of college, and a player that the NBA clearly didn't value all that much. You had Vlad Golden ranked in, the top 50, and Hunter Dickinson, outside, not in the top 100 of any of these, kind of pre-draft player rankings that I saw, big boards. But nonetheless, he gets a two-way deal as well. And all these players will get a chance to prove themselves, in the summer league. Some teams begin that later this week. That's July 5th, I believe, is when a few teams meet in these various kind of subsets of the summer league, but then they all make it to Las Vegas starting next week. That's July 10th is when the summer league officially begins.
I'm going to test your memory here and go back a little bit and back to after Hunter Dickin's freshman season. And do you recall, was he a projected draft pick after that freshman year? Or do you think he had some draft grades and just decided to come back, or do you think that he probably would have just been a after draft signing as well after his freshman year?
Yeah, even then, I mean, the NBA was kind of what it is now, and there were things that they clearly wanted to see from him that he just really wasn't that player. But yeah, maybe I guess just when you're younger, you haven't you have there's a little more intrigue there. Probably his stock was a little higher, but there's no way you could say like he made the wrong decision. Obviously, with the way NIL came in, during his career, like that was. Uh, yes, he was, financially and otherwise, it was the right call for him. But it is interesting to look back on for sure.
And now looking ahead to the 2026 draft, I mean, Michigan could be well represented there too, even though fans might not be well acquainted with some of their games at this point, at least not yet.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN, put it out shortly, of course, after the draft ended, and yeah, three guys like kind of fringe first round. I mean, two were in there, and then they had a third like at 33, which would be early in the second round. But again, obviously very early. But yeah, it's like three front court players who transferred into the program this year. So Yaxel Lendenborg kind of looked at as maybe a lottery pick. Adai Mara, the transfer from UCLA, 7'3" center, and Morez Johnson Jr. With from Illinois. Yeah, I think definitely some maybe some surprise about those last two, just because the production isn't quite there yet at the college level. But yeah, I mean, you can. This is good news for Michigan that they're viewed as that type of talent. And yeah, Morez Johnson Jr. already showing off some of that right now at the FIBA U19 World Cup in Switzerland, playing for the United States. Oscar Goodman, another Michigan player. Who came to the program last year in January and redshirted, but will suit up this year playing for New Zealand. They're both contributing to their teams. Goodman started all three games for New Zealand. They're 2-1 after this morning's loss. Johnson started one of the games, but has been playing significant minutes in all of them, leading the team, or in both of them so far, leading the team and rebounding. Their third game is today. By the time you hear it, it'll be going or maybe done. Dusty May will actually be traveling there tomorrow, I'm told. To watch two of his players, and I imagine maybe doing some recruiting while he's there. And I'll mention Silas Swords on the women's side, playing for Canada in a different event, the AmeriCup in Chile. Youngest player on the team. In some cases, she's got some teammates that are 10 years or more older than she is, but also contributing. They're 3-0. They play tomorrow. All these games can be streamed on YouTube.
Yeah, does Dusty May ever like take a weekend off just to like chill? Like, what does Dusty May do in his free time? Like, does he have any free time? It's pretty insane. The guy is just a busy bee out there all the time. It seems like.
Very good point. Yeah, I think the answer is no. It's all certainly an all-consuming job. Yeah, there's no quiet time with recruiting. I mean, that was always a difference with college coaches versus like pro coaches, but I think that's especially true now, more than ever. But yeah, that's what I'm told, is that he'll be there. So yeah, some Wolverines competing internationally for their countries. All right, we kind of recapped the NBA draft, but how about the NHL draft? 8 Wolverines picked. And if you're, I feel like a lot of people were thinking maybe right away if they saw that headline, wondering then why Michigan wasn't better last season. But because remember they missed the NCAA tournament. But of course, just one of those players actually played on the team last year.
Right, yeah, so, I mean, it's a talented freshman class coming in, and, yeah, like you said, it's because they're all all entering college hockey for the first time, and, I mean, if there was a year for Michigan to break the record, I mean, they had 7 draft picks 3 other times in their history and then broke it with 8 here, and one of them isn't even coming into play next season. He's committed for the 26-27 season too, so it's not like Michigan can't even really recognize him or talk about him yet because he's not signed. The other guys are. But yeah, it's still pretty an impressive mark, and 4 of them are playing or played in one of the CHL leagues last year, which this is part of the rule change beginning the 25-26 season. Players in the OHL, WHL, and QMJHL are able to play college hockey, which will be fascinating. And there is a lot of talent in those leagues, pro talent in those leagues, and yeah, some of them, a lot of them are coming over to the NCAA side next year, and of course, yeah, 4 of them will be joining the Wolverines. And I was a little surprised that Malcolm Spence, the forward for who played for the Erie Otters last year, wasn't the first incoming first Wolverine off the board. I mean, I think a lot of most mock drafts and experts and a couple people I talked to expected him to be the first one to go. A lot of projections in the 20 to 27 range, and he fell all the way to the number 43 overall to the New York Rangers in the second round. Seems like a really good value there for kind of a very versatile forward, power forward, who had 32 goals and 73 points last season. Should play a big role for Michigan already as a freshman. And then equally surprising was how early Will Horkoff, the one player that was on Michigan's team last year, at least for the second half of the season, the Pittsburgh Penguins traded up to get him at number 24 overall, and he was more of a fringe first round pick, either probably projected to go late in the first round or early second. But the Penguins must have really liked his size, his NHL pedigree. His dad, Sean Horkoff, played over 1,000 games in the NHL, and he's the current assistant general manager for the Red Wings. And he needs a lot of work on his skating, but has good hands, really good in front of the net, and was the youngest player in college hockey last year when he joined the team midseason as a 17-year-old. So there is some potential there. I just didn't think he would go as early as he did, and some other experts reading afterwards were a little surprised by that pick too. But still, good for him. 9 straight years now, Michigan has had at least one player or incoming recruit drafted in the first round. Just an ode to their development and how the success and consistency they've had over the past decade or so. And then it was just a busy second round overall. Cole McKinney, incoming center, who probably will be slotted in as a second, third line center for the Wolverines next year. Had a solid season for the U.S. National Team Development Program last year. Solid 200-foot player, 6 foot. Yeah, he went to the San Jose Sharks at 53 overall. 5 picks later, incoming freshman goalie Jack Ivankovic to the Nashville Predators. Kind of an interesting fit there. Their Predators goalie right now is UC Saros, one of the smallest goalies in the NHL at 5'11", and they draft Ivankovic, who's 6 foot. Very rarely you see a goalie that under 6 feet or 6 feet or smaller in this day and age in the NHL, but it can be done. And he has all the other tools, and was the 5th goalie drafted in this draft. And then, yeah, in the 4th round, Michigan had a pair of prospects drafted. One of them was incoming defenseman Drew Schock, another national development team or USNTDP product. Had chipped in some offense, 9 goals, 37 points in 66 games last year. His dad played on Michigan's national championship winning team in 1997, so there's a little bit of a connection there. Overall, just a solid D man. Doesn't do anything exceptionally well, but just seems will be a solid guy. Won't make many mistakes. Jimmy Lombardi, he's the guy that's committed for Michigan for the 26-27 campaign. Played for the Flint Firebirds in the OHL last year. He's going back to Flint for this upcoming season before starting his college career. Asher Barnett, fifth round pick to the Edmonton Oilers. Uh, Another guy that played for the development program. He's coming in next season. And then I love this. This is kind of an interesting story too. Aiden Park actually attended the draft. And I mean, most guys that attend the draft, they're first, second round picks. This guy was a fringe draft. I mean, he wasn't even going to be a guaranteed draft pick regardless. Stuck it out through like 5, 6, 7 hours on Saturday to hear his name called. He was picked with the second to last pick by the Oilers. And like just seeing his smile on his face was pretty remarkable. Good for him. He was draft eligible last year too, but didn't get selected. But yeah, Chris Peters, the NHL draft prospect guru I talked to before the draft, is like he's got some tools. He's got a lot of offense to his name. He might not have an immediate impact at Michigan. He might be a guy that you see more of the development his sophomore, junior year. But yeah, had 33 goals and 33 assists in the USHL last year for the Green Bay Gamblers. So yeah, talented class. Banner draft for Michigan, and they'll hope to get back in the NCAA tournament next year after missing last season for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, sure seems like nice influx of talent coming in for Michigan next year, as evident by the draft. All right, well, stay tuned for more recruiting news and anything else that pops up that's Michigan Wolverines related on MLive.com/Wolverines. Thanks for listening.